What if this movie still hits so hard because it refuses to give you a win when you're expecting one? That's why The Empire Strikes Back endures. It takes the hope of a new hope, strips away the safety net, and drops its heroes into a galaxy where survival is the victory, and certainty is the first thing to die. A galaxy that stops playing fair. The opening minutes set the tone immediately. The Rebel Alliance is no longer celebrating victory. They are hiding, hunted, and running out of options. Their secret base on the ice planet Hoth isn't a symbol of hope. It's a temporary shelter waiting to be discovered. When the Empire arrives, the rebels don't charge forward with speeches. They evacuate. The first major set piece of the movie is a retreat. That creative choice matters. It tells the audience that this chapter isn't about triumph, it's about endurance. The Empire isn't reacting anymore, it's actively hunting. From this moment on, the heroes are no longer shaping events. They're responding to them. Hoth, cold, brutal, and unforgiving. The Battle of Hoth is often remembered for its spectacle. Towering AT-AT walkers advancing like moving fortresses, fragile snowspeeders darting between their legs, and explosions echoing across a frozen wasteland. But what truly makes it unforgettable is how it feels. The environment itself is an enemy. Snow buries equipment before it can be reused. Visibility drops without warning, weapons freeze. The ground works against the defenders at every step, turning simple movement into a struggle for survival. This is not a battlefield designed for heroism. It is a place that drains strength and punishes hesitation. That feeling was no accident. The production deliberately leaned into real-world hardship to sell the illusion of desperation. Key exterior scenes were filmed on an actual glacier in Norway, where cast and crew endured extreme cold, brutal winds, and constant weather delays. Equipment malfunctioned. Cameras froze. Performers fought the elements as much as their fictional enemies. The discomfort you feel while watching the battle isn't acting, it's physical strain translated directly onto the screen. Hoth establishes one of the film's central truths early and without mercy. Nature, fate, and power are no longer aligned with the heroes. From this point forward, nothing comes easily. The Empire's quiet terror. Unlike many cinematic villains who rely on speeches, grand gestures, or exaggerated cruelty, the Empire in this film is frightening because of its restraint. Its power lies in efficiency, organization, and patience. Probe droids scatter across the galaxy like mechanical bloodhounds. Surveillance tightens, escape routes vanish one by one. Every move the rebels make feels anticipated, as if the Empire is always one step ahead. Darth Vader embodies this approach perfectly. He is not loud, he is not impulsive. He operates like a relentless strategist, applying pressure until resistance collapses under its own weight. This methodical advance makes the Empire terrifying in a deeply unsettling way. It doesn't need to shout to be heard. It doesn't need spectacle to inspire fear. It simply advances, slowly, deliberately, and without mercy. The rebels aren't losing because they lack courage or conviction. They are losing because they are vastly outmatched by a system designed to crush opposition through sheer inevitability. The Empire doesn't need to win quickly. It only needs to keep going. Han Solo, Leia Organa, and love under pressure. Han Solo begins the film wanting to leave. Not because he's selfish, but because survival is becoming expensive. Bounties, debts, and the Empire are closing in from every direction. His humor remains, but it's sharper now. Less carefree, more defensive. Leia, meanwhile, evolves into the emotional backbone of the story. She leads, negotiates, fights, and grieves without ever losing control. Their relationship isn't romantic fantasy. It's forged in stress, fear, and constant motion. Every quiet moment feels stolen. When Han is later frozen in carbonite, it doesn't just remove a character, it removes warmth from the story. The humor stops. The optimism freezes with him. Where the real battle begins. Luke Skywalker's journey pulls him away from open warfare and into isolation, marking a crucial shift in the story's focus. Dagobah is the opposite of Hoth in every physical sense. Dark instead of bright, humid instead of frozen, alive instead of barren. It feels ancient, like a place that has watched countless warriors arrive seeking power and leave carrying regret. This is not a world built for comfort. It is a place designed to confront those who enter it. Yoda's introduction is deliberately deceptive. He appears foolish, irritating, almost absurd, pushing Luke's patience to its limit. Then, without ceremony, the mask drops. What remains is not a mystical superhero, but a teacher who understands failure better than success. His lessons are not about strength or dominance. They are about discipline, patience, and self-mastery. Luke struggles because he wants certainty. He wants reassurance that his suffering will lead somewhere meaningful. Yoda offers neither. Instead, he teaches that fear, anger, and impatience are not obstacles to be dealt with later. They are seeds of destruction if carried forward unchecked. The Force as burden, not shortcut. One of the most important contributions this film makes to Star Wars mythology is its redefinition of the Force. In The Empire Strikes Back, the Force is not a convenient upgrade or a shortcut to victory. It is a responsibility that demands emotional control and self-awareness. Power without discipline is not empowering, it is dangerous. Luke's failure in the cave vision crystallizes this lesson. When he confronts a version of Darth Vader and sees his own face staring back at him, the moment isn't about combat skill or destiny, it's about identity. The message is deeply unsettling. The darkness Luke fears is not external. It already exists within him. This realization elevates the story beyond simple adventure. The conflict is no longer just about defeating an enemy. It is about confronting the possibility of becoming one. Beauty as a trap. Cloud City arrives like a breath of fresh air after relentless darkness. It is clean, bright, and serene, a floating vision of safety and stability. For a brief moment, it feels like relief. That illusion is precisely what makes it dangerous. Cloud City represents comfort under imperial influence, a reminder that tyranny often disguises itself as order and prosperity. Lando Calrissian's betrayal is not driven by cruelty or greed. It is born of fear. Faced with impossible choices and overwhelming power, he attempts to negotiate survival and loses control of the situation almost immediately. The Empire changes the deal without hesitation, reinforcing a brutal truth. Negotiation means nothing when one side holds absolute power. Cloud City's beauty does not protect it. It only hides the trap until it's too late. Carbonite and the cost of failure. Han's carbon freezing is one of the most emotionally brutal moments in the saga. There is no rescue, no last-minute reversal. The heroes watch helplessly as one of their own is taken away as property. The scene works because it refuses to soften the blow. Leia's restrained grief and Luke's absence make the moment heavier. This is the price of losing ground. This is what defeat looks like. A duel without illusions. The lightsaber duel between Luke and Vader is not a contest of equals. Vader toys with Luke, testing him physically and psychologically. The environment itself feels unstable. Narrow platforms, endless drops, mechanical screams. When the truth is revealed, it lands not as a shock twist, but as emotional devastation. Luke doesn't just lose a fight. He loses certainty about who he is, where he comes from, and what the future demands of him. The hero's journey fractures here. And that fracture is the point. An ending without victory. The Empire Strikes Back ends quietly. The rebels regroup, not celebrate. Luke receives a mechanical hand, not a medal. Han is gone. The future is unclear. But there is resolve. The film doesn't promise that things will get better. It promises that the characters will keep going anyway. That choice to continue despite loss is what defines them as heroes. Why the darkest hour endures. This is why The Empire Strikes Back still resonates. It understands that growth hurts, that belief is fragile, that hope is not loud or triumphant, it's stubborn. The movie trusts its audience to sit with discomfort. It doesn't rush healing, it doesn't fake closure. Instead, it leaves you suspended between despair and determination, exactly where real change begins. That is why this chapter remains unmatched. Not because it is darker, but because it is honest. If this deep dive made you see The Empire Strikes Back differently, remember, heroes aren't defined by victory, but by what they survive. The story doesn't end in the darkest hour. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe for more.